Hello, my friends. Welcome to, what are we on? Together Run 86. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. So excited to be back. And, well, at least a solo one here. I want to begin, as we always do, by grounding yourself with some element of nature. I'm going to touch this really tall weed that is like up to my hip. Off on a little path near my house. I want you to find something that connects you to nature. If you're not able to do that, find some way to just feel your feet on the ground, or you can do that anyway. Just know that even if you are not standing on something natural, there's still earth underneath you. All right, we ready to begin? In 3, 2, and 1, off we go. Going a different way today because my kids were just waking up, coming down the stairs as Steve was like, get out the door. And so I didn't want them to see me running away. So, going in a different direction. Okay, so let me think for a second about this run. The last Together run I did would have been... Okay, so I didn't run for a week. We did the Out Trails Together run in Utah. And then I think the week before was Mist One, was it? And then the week before that was the one in England, which I think might have been the last solo one that was done. Or maybe I did one here, I can't remember, but it's been a while. There's a lot for us to catch up on, including the race yesterday. I ran with my training partner and he was like, so how did it go? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, we haven't run together. I was like, what? How's that possible? But obviously we're taking a week off. I hadn't thought through that I hadn't seen him. It was only 5. I'd only been running 5 days at that point, or not even 5 days. And so anyway, I know we've got a lot to catch up on. For anyone new to this, welcome. We're going to go through some meditative elements first, and then we're going to more get into the conversational piece of our run together. And we are going to see where it goes from there. So, our first thing we do is the nature check-in, and then we do a body scan. So what that's going to be is I'm going to call out various parts of our bodies just as we flow down, almost like a wave, going through our bodies, checking in with the various parts. And your job is to listen and be present in those areas just to see how they feel, and just follow it along as best you can. Okay, ready? Starting at the top of your head, working your way down. So go through those eyes, making sure they're not scrunched, not holding any tension. As you continue on down through your nose and your mouth. Same here, just making sure you're not holding tension, you're not clenching the teeth. Everything's nice and relaxed. And checking in with the back of your head as you go down into the back of your neck. Come round to the front as you go into your shoulders, and continuing on down into your upper arms, flowing through those upper arms, round the elbow, into the forearm, continuing on through the wrist and hand. As you check in with your fingers, making sure they too are not holding tension, not holding them tight, nice and relaxed. Down we go, back into the main part of the torso, going through your chest, upper back, down into your lower back, and stomach around the front as you head into your hips and pelvis, checking in all that area like a wave, flowing through it, a wave of light maybe. As you continue on down through your quads, thighs, checking in with the back, in your hamstrings, and with the back of the knee, and the front of the knee, continuing on down into your calf and shin. As you check in with your inner ankle and outer ankle, going down into your heel and arch, and checking in with the top of your arch, and finally your toes. How's everything feeling? Me, my inner, between my heel and my inner ankle is kind of a little bit tight, and weirdly my chafe spot on the back of my armpit is feeling like it's already going to chafe, which is weird. That's only usually reserved for marathons and beyond, but who knows. How's your body feeling? Okay, the next thing we're going to do is our senses check-in, which is where we're going to take in our 5 primary senses in the world around us. I'm going to take a little bit of time for each, just to really ground ourselves in this moment. So, as we overuse our sight, we lean on that the most, we're going to leave that till last. And we are going to begin by taking 3, as deep as you can for running, breaths, and I'll let you do that in your own time. What do you smell? For me, it smells quite a pleasant, like flowering smell, and I couldn't tell you what that was. What do you taste? I taste my toothpaste. Just brushed my teeth before I left. Okay, next, we're going to go into hearing, or auditory, which is where we are going to, if you want to remove your headphones, you're welcome to. If you'd rather listen to my surroundings, you're welcome to. But what I want you to do is take in your surroundings. I want you to listen and really focus your energy on being in your ears, listening, to take it in this moment. What are you hearing if you are listening that otherwise you wouldn't pay attention to? It just becomes background noise. So let's go ahead and take, 45 seconds and do that now. It's a very excited dog that's come out. I hope this doesn't run at me. fine, a few seconds. Okay, what did you hear? What was it you heard that you wouldn't normally pay attention to if you weren't listening for it? For me, it was a little random bird squealing noise that is familiar, but something you're just kind of like, oh, there's that noise again. But it's quite a unique noise. Okay. Next, we're going to go on to a sense of touch, feel, tactile, where we are just going to be in our bodies, present, and noticing where our bodies are interacting with the outside world, what we're feeling in this moment from the physical side of things, not emotional. We'll get to that. I want you to just take a little bit of time and be there. So sometimes your energy might jump, or your awareness might jump from place to place. Other times it might get stuck on something that maybe is bothering you or is particularly fresh to you, I suppose. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, so for you, as I said, maybe it was that your attention was jumping around and you were feeling like just couldn't get settled, or maybe you have something, it is settling, and you wish it wasn't. So it's okay, whatever that is. Obviously, if it's a injury pain that's getting worse with every step, please stop. Go get that taken care of. It's not worth it to just run through pain that is going to come back to get you. Okay, for me it was very much the tightness in my chest. And if I'm still taking a little while to get back used to running after a week off, probably not. Or just, it's been a long few days, very, very busy few days, so that can make a lot of sense for me why I am feeling tired today. Also noticing the air blowing against my upper arms, an itch on my stomach, and still a little bit of my heel, but or whatever that is, but not bad. Okay, and finally, our sense of vision, our sight. I want you to take in your surroundings as best you can during the time, but as always, during that time, I want you to do one thing, which is to make sure you take a mental photograph of something you have never noticed before. Even if you've done this run thousands of times, there is something that you haven't noticed before. So I want to invite you to look around, find that detail in something that you are really going to take in, as if it was the last time you're ever going to look at that thing. Just take a mental photograph. And the rest of the time you can just be looking all around, up, down, side to side, wherever is safe for you, and take it in. Okay, off we go. Few more seconds. Okay, thank you for doing that. What was your mental photograph of the thing you've never noticed before? For me, even though I've done most of these together runs on this same loop area, I noticed the house I was coming toward had a little conservatory, is that the word? That we call it in England, conservatory, that is just like a little room on the side of their house where it's like all windows, you can sit in there. I've never noticed that house had that before. And you don't see that very often here in the US, so it also caught my eye for that reason. Okay, that is our physical body, hopefully nice and grounded for the world around us. And now we're going to go on to our mental, our mind. So, I am going to ask you the question. You are going to take a few minutes to really think through your answer, dive through the layers, try and unpeel yourself. If we were running together and we ran often, maybe you would share this with me. Maybe not. That's okay too. Maybe you would never share this with me. And that's okay too. But I want you to ask yourself, be aware yourself in how you're feeling. So, how are you? Really? Let's go ahead and answer that now. you're distracted, gently bringing yourself back. How are you, really? A few more seconds. Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time and energy to check in with yourself. So important to do, and something most of us don't do enough of. Tend to rush through our days and just forget to check in and consider all the things going on in our life. Okay, so how am I, really? First thought is really struggling on this run more than I feel I should be. Just in terms of I can feel I'm running slow, and that's fine. I don't care about the pace. But I still feel like it's hard. And I'm breathing more shallow than I want to be. So, that I know that's how it goes. It's not a big deal, but at the same time, that's kind of in there. God, you're struggling today. And it's not been like some of these together runs where I've been like, I think I might cut my run short. It's not that. I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll get there at 40 minutes. But yes, that's just the first thing that came up. Going deeper. Yesterday was Chloe's birthday, her 3rd birthday. She feels 3. That feels about the right age for her. She's kind of felt 3 for a while. And so I feel happy with that. Not only did she have a really nice day, and we had a party in the evening, we had 25 people over, which is, yes, a lot. And I am kind of probably quite tired from that. But it was also, she also just, I feel not proud, but satisfied with the use of my time over the last 3 years, because for me, her feeling she's 3 feels like I've been there with her, not kind of either wishing the time away or been how is she already 3? Because I feel like I've been there, I've experienced 3 years with her, and that feels about right. So I feel endless love for her and Bailey and Steve. Just it was a nice day. I got some family visiting from Australia, so they're here, which is nice. And yeah, it was just kind of a heartwarming thing. I met some of the other parents of Chloe's friends, which was nice. Sometimes here in St. Louis, I just don't feel settled. I feel like I've really put my roots in yet. So there's that. I feel very excited for the coming months of what events and opportunities are coming. That is really looking exciting. I just announced last week I'm going to be at Peachtree. If any of you will be there, would love to meet you. I will be hosting a plugging event, and I'd love if you would join me for that. And then there's just lots of other exciting things I've had this past week. On Thursday, God, friends, Thursday I had 3 massive work things either due, being presented, or offered to me. And I know I do a lot, but on that Thursday, I'm like, yeah, I just do it like normal amount of stuff. But on that Thursday, I was like, I feel like a superwoman with all I got done today. So I'm kind of riding off the excitement of those things, but also, yeah, once again, really feeling quite depleted. Like I need to take it very easy this weekend. And then, what else is going on? I had a chat last night with one of my best friends who you'll hear a lot about you would have heard a lot about in Ultra Catch Up and Will Today, Ryan Montgomery. We were just talking last night about just the homophobia that is around right now, and it feels like, I don't know, like it feels like for some people it's okay again. Almost like 5 years ago, homophobia was like not cool. Don't do that. And like people would really not say things that were harmful to the queer community. But now it feels like we've rolled backwards and there's so much hate going around to people just simply trying to be who they are. Yeah, that hurts my heart because, you know, I love Ryan. He's one of my best friends in the world, and I have a lot of queer friends, and they're incredible humans. And when they're hurting from just cruelty, just vitriol, it hurts me too, so that hurts. And yeah, so I just ask you, all of us really, we just need to try and think about what we're doing to who we are supporting or encouraging, maybe, who might be pushing things that are harmful to our community, to people within it. Like if you see someone you follow saying something that is homophobic or racist or whatever, unfollow that person. Or if you can say something, if you know them, say something. It's just harmful. And if you want to be an ally, you need to not stand for that or not support that person in any way, no matter how much you like them. So yeah. Okay, so then mental health check-in done. So the last thing is we're going to do, we've got a minute and a half till the 30-minute group peel off. So I want to ask you in this moment a few things. One, I would love to hear your thoughts on For Real-isodes. Honestly, we haven't really had the feedback I thought we were going to, with the conversations are hilarious. At least I think so. Sarah is so funny. But are you enjoying them? If you haven't listened, go check them out. They're 5 to 15 minutes long. Just funny, silly conversations. Jeremy, our editor, has been submitting. He submitted one last week, which was, would you rather have an ingrown toenail or no toenail? And we had a conversation about it. If you're squeamish, there's other ones that aren't like that. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts. But also, if you had a question for us, feel free to send me that too. And you know, you can always reach out to me, tina@runningforreal.com. So then, yeah, that. And then also to ask you, I'm saying this now so we get all of us in here, if you can pre-order Becoming a Sustainable Runner, which comes out in August, I'll put the link in the show notes to get it from all the major retailers. You can also ask your local bookstore to pre-order it for you. That is the biggest help you can give me. If you enjoy these together runs, right, you're going to come to a walk 30-minute group in 5 seconds. If you want to support me for these together runs, if you enjoy what I do, that pre-ordering just gives our book the biggest push you could give it when you pre-order. So please, if you have the ability to do so, pre-order, get your name in there ahead of time, and get it from all the, if you're in the US, the Target, the Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and I'm not going to be mad at you for getting it at Amazon, and that's worldwide Amazon. You can get it from Waterstones in the UK and many other retailers. So please go pre-order that if you can. That's a massive help to me. Okay, so now we're going to do our 2 strides. If you haven't done these before, we're going to do 10 to 15 seconds of about 80% of your max. I'm just going to do 2 of them. And so we're just going to do it together. You're not trying to take big steps. You're trying to take lots of steps. Increase your cadence. And that will naturally push you forward. Okay, ready? 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog or a walk. Walk if you're in the 30-minute group. If you're in 45 or 60, you can keep jogging as slow as you need. We'll take about another 30 seconds and then we'll go again. And then 30-minute group, you can be on your way. So yeah, the link to the website where it makes it easy for you to order off any of those places is becomingasustablerunner.com. And yeah, that would be a massive help. Also want to mention before the 30-minute crew go, this week's Friday's episode of the podcast was with Martinus Evans, and his book Slow AF is out, I think this week actually. And if you have ever felt like you didn't belong, or you weren't a real runner, or that people have doubted you, or that you just didn't feel good enough, this is the book for you. This is the book for all of us, actually. If you've ever uttered the words, I'm too slow for, or I feel slow. Really, this conversation was powerful. I always really am thoughtful with my questions. And so if you missed that one with Martinus, go listen to it and go get yourself a copy of his book. All right. Ready? 3, 2, and 1. I lucked out this time. I got downhills on both. That never happens. Okay, come to a jog or a walk, 30-minute crew. Thank you so much for joining me. Check out those links in the show notes, including Martinus's book, including Martinus's episode, For Real-isode, and Becoming a Sustainable Runner. If you're in Atlanta and we'll be at Peachtree, please let me know. I'll see you next time. All right, for the rest of us, we have got about 11 minutes till our next set of strides. And so the next part of the together run is going to be asking you what you've been up to lately. If we were running together, running right now, if you have done one of these before, and I know you, let's just leave it at if we have done one of these before, what would you tell me in updates since the last time we did one of these? Doesn't matter if it's been a year or 1 month. What would you tell me? And if you have never done one of these before, what would you tell me about yourself if we were running alongside each other right now? What parts of your life or who you are would you share? So think about that. What would you say? If I was beside you right now, let's go ahead and do that. You've drifted off. Updates, what would you tell me? Few more seconds. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing with me what you've been up to. If you do feel so inclined to share about this podcast episode or this together run and talk about what you appreciate about it, that means the world. And I'd love to hear what you would have shared with me in that moment or in this moment, because it's nice to hear your updates. As for mine, well, as I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these. And I also want to direct you, if you haven't already checked it out, to listen to the recap of my ultra that I released just over a week ago as a solo episode, just a conversation about the Bryce Canyon 50 mile that I did. And if you haven't listened to that, that would be a good recap there, because I'm not going to go over everything here. I might try and add a few points that I don't remember if I shared or not, but are just like beyond later processing thoughts rather than a recap of the race. But in summary, it was beautiful, like just such a, I'm so glad that was my first ultra experience. Part of me does wonder if the reason it went so well was more related to Patrick than I realised, in terms of, like, I don't know, it's just one of those magical experiences that won't happen again. And so I've got, like, an unrealistic expectation of what an ultra is, maybe. But it was, yeah, I just can't, it's my body, how your body handles these things is just astounding. Like, still now, I'm like, how did I run 52 miles in one go? Like, how? It just seems so impossible, but just another good example of where, like, we're capable of amazing things if we just try. And my training was not set up to... I had not really been doing what I would think was, like, enough to do this. Like, in my head, ultra runners do, like, I was doing 25-mile long runs. I will say that, in the trails. But doing, like, 25-mile long run and then a 25-mile long run the next day, and then, like, in the middle of the week doing, like, a 18-mile workout with all these, like, long intervals and stuff. Like, I wasn't doing any of that. The most I did was a 23, I think, mile long run, followed by a 16-mile long run the day after. I did that once, and that was the most I did for that. Don't know if I swallowed a fly, but oh god, it's right. I just swallowed a bit of pollen or something. Oh god, need a drink. Yeah, so that was an update. If you have any questions about ultra running, I feel like sometimes, to me at least, it feels like when the elites share, it just seems so, like, easy for them. And actually, now I think about it, I'm saying that too, that it went really well. But more that, like, they don't give you the detail of, like, what that experience was like. It's just kind of like jumping ahead, like, oh, I started the race and my ankle was bothering me, and then at mile 80, and you're like, what? Where'd the rest of it go? So I feel like with the recap I did, I really went into detail, and I, like, had you run it with me, essentially, as I, like, relayed it to you. So anyway, there's that. I am doing a lot more sustainability consulting, if you want to call it that, which has been very exciting and really what I want to be doing more of, which is why, again, I'll be at Peachtree. I'll also be in New York in September, and New York again for the marathon, and Chicago Marathon, and I've got some other things lined up, can't say yet. So doing a lot more of that, which I really love, and I love that I can be the one pushing these races to, like, do what they can, because that's why I did that episode of the podcast with Mike Nishi from Chicago and Kat Morris, because I wanted to have them talk about, yes, we're Chicago Marathon, we can do this, but you little marathon or you little local 5K, here's where you have a massive advantage environmentally. Here's what you can do. So I'm enjoying that, and just getting ready for book stuff with the launch coming in a few months. Trying to get some podcast interviews lined up, some, you know, media stuff as much as we can. And it's hard hustle. Like, it's not, I don't know, I guess, like, at least for me, I'd always thought, like, the publisher comes in and they're like, here's a blog, Sally. It's funny I use Sally, because Sally is one of my team. Sally is listening to this right now. Sorry, people always use Sally. That's always the name people give me when they're using an example, is Sally. So I'm going to say, here's Sarah. Yeah, again, another person I interact with often. I really need to be more creative. and say that here they are, this person is going to take care of everything, this is your publicist, they're going to schedule you, blah, 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 blah. And while I'm sure that is the case for some of the biggest authors in the world, it's just not how it goes for the rest of us. Like, you have to be doing not all of it. You do have people, definitely. But like, when you've got relationships with people, it's going to go much better if you reach out to them over a marketing person or some kind of outreach person, because they know you. And at least for me as well, if one of my friends has a publicist reach out to me, I'm like, wow, you didn't even want to do that yourself. So yeah, it's just a lot. And Zoe and I are working together on it, but it's still a lot. And as I am guessing that probably 90% of you have not pre-ordered, it takes a lot of nudging. And even people who love you and support you don't always remember in the moment to do it, or money might be tight right now, or I'll do it later, So every every pre-order we can get makes a difference. And so you just got to keep digging in. So I've been doing a lot of that prepping stuff lately. 45-minute group. Come to a walk. Missed your line there. We'll give you 30 seconds or so, and we'll all do our 2 strides. And then we'll be, the rest of us for 60 will continue on, and you 45 will be on your way to do whatever you like. I also would love to see some more photos of you. Been a bit quiet on the photo front the last few weeks, partially because I didn't have one out, and partially I didn't ask you to in the Out Trails one. But yeah, I would love to see some pictures of you running, whether that's in a post, that's amazing, or even if it's just you sending it to me. I love seeing who I'm running with, where we're running together. You really make my day when you send those, so thank you. All right, you ready for a stride? In 3, 2, and 1. Come to a jog, a walk. A little bit, 30 seconds or so of recovery, and we'll go again. Ready? 3, 2, and 1. Come to a jog. Okay. I feel like my updates has just been one long rambly today. Thank you, 45 minutes, for joining me. Appreciate you. Please go check out those links in the show notes. It means a lot. And I'll see you on Monday. Oh, today is Monday, if you're listening to this when it comes out. Wednesdays are together For Real-isode. Friday is a regular episode. Remember to go check out last week's, both of those. I mentioned those today. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Okay. Right, we have about 11 minutes again until we're done. We'll do our strides in about 9 minutes. Because yes, if we can do 60 minutes, we can do strides while running. With just continuing on. But yeah, I want to take this moment for us to take a silent body scan. I want you to do it at your own pace. Follow through with your body. just to check in. How is it feeling? So do a body scan. Off you go. Fine, a few seconds. Okay, how's your body feeling? For me, I actually feel better now than I did last time we did that. Still tired, but that's expected. One thing I wanted to mention that I keep forgetting to say when I'm talking about the ultras is many of you have been asking me about my fueling, and I told, kind of how I ate in the recap ultra episode, but I haven't shared yet what product I used, what product I took 16 of, I think, in the race, and I will be sharing that with you very soon. I just wanted to acknowledge those of you who have reached out. I appreciate you asking, and I know when I speak about something, I want to be sure about it. And as those of you who have been with me a long time know, I have shifted companies. I was with my former company for a long time, but it just wasn't quite enough for what I'm doing now. The amount of carbs you're supposed to get in an hour, just couldn't do it. And so, so I wanted to make sure I could be confident in what I was sharing before I said anything. So that information will be coming soon. I'll tell you as soon as I can. All right. Okay, so we got 6 minutes before we do our strides. Okay, what else do I have to say? I'm trying to think of some things that would have happened over the last month that I haven't had the chance to share with you yet. Ultra. I did have just such a nice time exploring around Utah. I'm really enjoying getting to know the Salt Lake City, Park City areas through each time I go visit Ryan, and it's fun. I like it. And speaking of Ryan, he's running Western States in a few weeks, so if you're someone who'll be following that, make sure you send some cheer wishes and some love to him as he goes about that. What else? Do you have some fun interviews lined up, including with this week recording with Cara for a catch-up. It's been a few years since I've had Cara on the podcast, and I know Cara is kind of always in the podcast circuit. She's got her own podcast, but I hope you know I'm gonna challenge her with some tough questions, and And yeah, we'll go over things from her book. We'll go over her podcast with Des. We'll go over life stuff with her dystonia. All the things that have been happening since we last had her on. We've got some other fun ones coming too. God, I really feel like there should be more. I don't even know if I've done a run since I came back from England. I think I have. Have I? Oh, so I guess the last thing would be, so what's next? Now I've had a bit more processing time. I'm not for sure, but I think I've settled on an 100k in the fall that I'm going to train for. I'm going to take this summer to just build up my miles a bit. Very casual, if I miss days, whatever. Kind of the same approach I had this build up. Just doing my best. Workouts if I want to. Long runs if I want to. So yeah, maybe even more casual than what I've been doing. And then I'll probably take a week or so to reset and then go and do a 12-week build-up of really trying to commit, not all in, but building it up to, if last training block was a 5, building up to a 7 or an 8, to just see what happens if I really do a bit more, which is exciting. I don't want to say the race just yet, but because I'm not 100% decided. I wouldn't even say I'm close to 100%. The race I'm thinking about will be warm, and I really don't like running in the heat, so I don't know. It's really, that in itself is kind of almost a turn off for me, but it does seem like a logical next step and a great race to do. And so I'm trying to weigh whether my commitment increase would be enough to get me to do the heat training that would have me be ready for it, or if that's just that extra ask to do the heat training is going to suck so much out of me that I won't be able to commit in the way I want to. I don't know. I'm still thinking through it, but I want to do 100k in the fall. That's kind of more of a standard distance than a 50 mile. Still 10 miles more, which, ultra runners say only 10 miles more, but 10 miles is a long way. Especially at that point. Like if I think about being at that 38 mile aid station and had Ryan said to me, you've got 26 more miles or 24 more miles at this point, I'd have been like, oh my God, it would have seemed unbelievable. So, I don't know, I'm working through it. Oh, okay, we're right at 58. So you ready to do stride? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, come to a jog. Another 30, 45. We'll do another one. So what about you? Do you have a race planned for the fall? Are you someone who is quite content without doing that? Would love to hear where you're at and what you're up to. And there's no judgment either way. As you know, I've only just got to the point where I actually want to race again after 6 years. So, totally get it. Even if you have no interest in that, but I'd love to hear what you are up to. All right, you ready? 3, 2, and 1. Great, come to a jog. I've got about 40 seconds and then we are done. And come to a walk. I want you to find some element of nature to ground yourself in, touch something, feel the ground beneath the feet. I want to thank you for joining me today. Please check out those links in the show notes. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, friends.